The Battle of Stalingrad, August 23, 1942 to February 2, 1943. The Battle of Stalingrad was one of the most significant and brutal battles of World War II. Fought between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union, it took place in and around the Soviet city of Stalingrad, now Volgograd. The battle was a turning point in the Eastern Front, leading to the eventual defeat of Germany. It is considered one of the deadliest battles in history, with massive casualties on both sides. Background and strategic importance: Hitler's ambitions in the East. By mid-1942, Germany had made significant territorial gains in the Soviet Union. Adolf Hitler, believing the Soviet Union was on the verge of collapse, launched Operation Blau, Case Blue, aiming to 1. Seize the Caucasus oil fields, which were crucial for Germany's war effort. 2. Capture Stalingrad, an industrial hub and a key transportation center on the Volga River. 3. Deal a psychological blow to the Soviet Union, as the city bore Joseph Stalin's name. Soviet strategy: Joseph Stalin and the Soviet leadership recognized Stalingrad's strategic importance. Losing the city would 1. Cut off vital supply routes to the Soviet interior. 2. Allow Germany to dominate southern Russia, threatening Moscow from the south. 3. Damage Soviet morale, as the city was a symbol of Soviet strength. Forces involved Germany and Axis allies. Commander: Field Marshal Friedrich Paulus, 6th Army. Troops: 1,000,000 soldiers, tanks: 1,000 aircraft, 1,200 artillery, 10,000 guns. Allied forces, Romanian, Italian, and Hungarian divisions supported the Germans. Soviet Union Commander: General Vasily Chukov, 62nd Army. Troops: 1,100 soldiers, tanks: 900 aircraft, 100 artillery, 500 guns. Phases of the Battle 1. German advance and initial assault, August 23 to September 12, 1942. August 23, 1942. The battle began with a massive Luftwaffe bombing campaign, reducing much of Stalingrad to rubble. German 6th Army reached the Volga River, nearly cutting off Soviet supply lines. The Soviet 62nd Army defended the city under General Vasily Chukov, using urban warfare tactics to slow the German advance. Point 2. Urban warfare, Rattenkrieg, September, November 1942. Stalingrad turned into a brutal street-by-street and building-by-building battle. Soviet forces dug into the ruins, using snipers, close combat, and ambush tactics. Famous locations included Pavlov's house, a small Soviet-held building that resisted German attacks for 2 months. Grain elevator, a key defensive position where Soviet troops fought until the last man. Red October factory, tractor factory, and barricade factory. Intense battles took place in these industrial zones. The Luftwaffe controlled the skies, but Soviet defenders held on to small pockets along the Volga. Point 3. Soviet counteroffensive, Operation Uranus, November 19 to 23, 1942. The Soviets launched a massive encirclement operation, codenamed Operation Uranus. Soviet forces attacked the weaker Romanian and Hungarian divisions guarding the German flanks. Within days, the 6th Army was completely surrounded in Stalingrad. Point 4. The German siege and Soviet attrition, December 1942 to January 1943. Hitler forbade Paulus from retreating, believing the Luftwaffe could airlift supplies. The Luftwaffe failed to deliver enough supplies, leading to starvation and disease among German troops. December 12, 1942. Germany attempted Operation Winter Storm to break the encirclement, but Soviet defenses held. By January 1943, German forces were exhausted, starving, and running out of ammunition. Point 5. German surrender, January 31st to February 2nd, 1943. January 31st, 1943. Paulus surrendered the southern pocket of German forces. February 2nd, 1943. The remaining German units in the northern sector also surrendered. Over 91,000 German soldiers were taken prisoner. Casualties and losses. Soviet Union, Germany, and Allies troops killed 100, 850, 000, wounded 600, 150, 000, captured 91, 000, tanks lost 4, 300, 900 aircraft lost 2, 701, 000 artillery lost 15, 0006, 000. Only 5,000 of the 91,000 captured Germans survived Soviet captivity after the war. Significance and consequences. 1. Turning point of World War II. The defeat at Stalingrad ended Hitler's hopes of conquering the Soviet Union. Germany was forced onto the defensive, and Soviet forces began pushing westward. Point 2. Destruction of the German Sixth Army. Germany lost one of its most elite armies, along with massive resources. Morale in the Wehrmacht collapsed, and the Nazi leadership began to lose confidence. Point 3. Boost to Soviet morale and military. The Soviet Red Army gained confidence, proving they could defeat Germany. It marked the beginning of the Soviet advance toward Berlin. Point 4. Psychological and symbolic impact. The battle symbolized Soviet resilience and Hitler's strategic failure. It inspired Soviet forces to launch more offensives, leading to the eventual liberation of Eastern Europe. The conclusion. The Battle of Stalingrad was one of the deadliest and most decisive battles of World War II. It marked the turning point on the Eastern Front, leading to Germany's decline and eventual defeat in 1945. The battle also showcased the brutality of total war, with immense civilian suffering and military destruction.